Okay, good morning. Here we go. We're on a day 4 program. Now, if you remember from the previous week, day 4 is when we're putting together, we're taking all those basic gross motor patterns of the body. So squat, lunge, push, pull, hinge, twist. What we're going to do today, though, is a little different format. We're going to do it with no equipment other than a jump rope. Now, even if you didn't have a jump rope, you could easily do this just by doing high knees in place, jumping jacks, front backs, and so on. So you just put a mat down on the floor and then you use that cushion, all right? So I'm just using the jump rope just because high knees can sometimes, I can land a little funky on that, on my right knee, and it just gives me a twinge I just don't want to deal with. Okay, so all right, so how are we going to do this? This is all body weight exercises. Nothing requires special equipment other than what you would have sitting around. Okay, so all we need is 2 towels if you didn't have the jump rope. So let's take a look. Okay, so here's how the format out. I'm going to start off with 100 jump ropes. Just count out 100 jump ropes. Then I'm going to do 10 bodyweight squats. Very straightforward. There's my squat action, right? Now I'm going to do 10 side lunge touchdowns. Okay, so that'll be self-explanatory once you see it. But basically, my legs are apart. I lunge to one side. I reach for the floor with my opposite hand. So my right hand will go towards my left foot. Okay, then I lunge to the other side to do the other thing. What that does is that gives me the lunge. It also gives me the hinge, right? So then I'm going to move into 10 6-count squat thrust. Okay, so basically burpee, no push up, and the legs jump out to the side. So a count would be I'm standing up, I go to touch the floor, that's 1. I jump back, that's 2. I split the legs apart, that's 3. I bring them back together, that's 4. I bring the feet up to my hands, that's 5, and I stand up, that's 6. Now I do 10 of those. Why are we doing that? Systemic stimulation, right? You're going to be breathing heavy after that. That's why we're doing it. But we're not going to the floor because I don't want the extra work in the push-up, because that's what we're going to do next, right? So I don't want one exercise to become more of a limiter than any other exercise. So after I do those 10 6 counts, I'm going to go to the floor. I'm going to do 10 push-ups. After that, I'm going to hold plank position. I'm going to hold on my elbows, and then I'm just going to rotate my heels to the floor, right? So that's all happening through the hips, shoulders, and down at the feet. And there's my twist, right? So now I've got 10 of those. That would be 1, 2, 3. We don't have to have that much here. We're just counting to 10. And then I'm going to flip it over for a little extra core activation. And it's just kind of fun to throw these in. I'm going to do 10 2-count flutter kicks. Basically, each leg would be 1 count. 1, 2, 1. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, so on. And the last one is going to be a big, long description for what it does. But this is the 10 Chinese back planks. Okay, so I'm on the floor. My elbows are elevated by a towel, and I'm just lifting the body off the floor with my feet and the back of my arms. So now that's my pull. That's my pulling muscles of that upper back, okay? It seems a little awkward, very short range of motion, but again, we're trying to activate this tissue, and this is with no equipment, and here we have an opportunity. So as you can see, we have the squat, lunge, push, pull, hinge, twist out of this. Now, the other thing is, we're going to start that we're going to do as many rounds as possible, and we're going to do it for 60 minutes. You start the timer at 60, let it count down, you keep going around. The kicker is, once I start in, I can't break until I get to the end. The rest would come here. If you are a beast and you can go from start to finish and keep going for that 60 minutes, good on you. That's fantastic. But basically what I'm going to do is I'll run that through. I'm sure I'm going to take about a minute, and then I'm going to start it back up. Take whatever time I need to make sure that when I start in, I can stay steady through, and most importantly, maintain the quality of those actions, right? So the work is built in. These are big movements, the body. So be steady, have a good technique, good form, get some air exchange going, make sure you're breathing steady throughout, and then you'll ride it out to the other end. If you got 20 minutes, do this for 20 minutes. If you got 30 minutes, do it for 30 minutes, whatever you have, right? whatever you're capable of. Maybe you can only make 15 minutes. Okay, great. That's your start. I think that covers it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn you off, pop you back on it on the last round. That way you get to see the exercises being performed, and let's get to it. Okay, here we go. Last round. Jump rope chin squat. Side lunge with a touchdown. Come all the way up in between. That helps with the hinge. Five each side. 5, 6, 10, 6 count. Squat thrust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push-up. Ten rotational planks. 1, 2. 10 flutter, 2 count flutter kicks. I do these without my hands underneath. Just more core challenge. And modified Chinese plank with reps. So elbows down, push through the floor, lift. Use the upper back. Shoulders out of ears. 10 of these. Good. All right. Let me shut down the timer. Let's go over that. Okay. All right, good. So, 16 minutes. That's a nice solid pace through. So trying to make the last round as clean as the first, but allowing the body to obviously drift in effort, right? So some people go faster than that, some people go slower than that, some people do more reps. You know, you just wherever you are, you go less time, you know. So again, if you kept the gas pedal down and you did 10 minutes, it'd be a nice little burner. You do that. Okay, so again, we touched on everything. So take a look at the jump rope. The jump rope's fantastic, right? It gives me that rebound, that spry, keep my body light, spry. Okay, so great activity to be throwing there. You don't even have to do single leg until you become more proficient. Effort level goes up, the more fancy you get, right? Double unders. Oh my gosh, you did 100 double under and just did that circuit, you'd be blowing pretty heavy if you can do double unders. Running in place, high knees, or shifting back and forth ones, or running in place, ba ba ba. Okay, so great there. Okay, squat, self-explanatory, right? Every repetition that you do of a nice full range squat, and even with, you know, my bad knee, I can still get a nice thigh parallel position, right? That assures you that sometime down the road you're going to be able to get up, all right? Then we go into the lunge. So lunge, basically, you can simplify that definition to anything where the legs are split, right? Single leg, or, you know, in the position. And the nice thing about going for the floor is I'm forcing the hinge at the hip and come back up. So I'm requiring a lot more flexibility in this area. And the side to side is helping me with mobility in the hip, so, which is crucial. Again, the idea, we got to be able to keep interacting with our world at the highest level we possibly can. 6-count bodybuilder, right? Just an effort level. But what's great about that is that you're getting the shoulder girdle. You're keeping that strong and stable, pressing through the floor. You get a tremendous core activation when you bring your legs up. If you make sure you engage through the midsection, pull the belly button up through the spine and pull the legs up, right? And then down. And then, of course, anytime you go from the floor to up, it's a lot of work. So the more you can do of those things, the greater the cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory benefit we're going to get, right? Push-ups, again, self-explanatory, just a great torso core activator. And then that little twisty plank, which is very sneaky, because you're taking that rotation, you're using those obliques to maintain some stability, using that core to stabilize the spine and all that, and during that motion. So a nice little variation thrown in there. And then we do the flutter kicks again. So I can use the flutter kicks to make sure that I'm engaging the core at the level I need to make sure I'm stabilized and protecting that lumbopelvic hip complex. Okay, so, you know, having it, being able to move, keeping the low back on the floor and being able to stabilize that under work and also while breathing heavy shows that there's a lot of capacity there to help protect me in anything else that I do. And then we do the modified Chinese plank. Well, you know what? That's just a great upper back activator when you don't have any, you know, something else to utilize. The thing about the pulling actions is it requires grip, so you got to be able to hang on to something. So yeah, I mean, if you can be creative about towels over a door in a knot, you shut the door, do pull-ups against the door. You can do things that way. You can just get a couple of ropes or straps from the hardware store. Again, same idea. Wrap it around something, shut the door, and you could do inverted rows that way. So again, you don't have to go out and buy this expensive equipment. You can just be a little creative about what you're trying to accomplish. That's a great day 4 right there, because we've been very specific the last couple of days. Now it's nice to just kind of throw in a burner, you know, something that gets everything going, gets the sweat going, wakes you up. So, okay, now make sure, I haven't been telling this in the last couple, I want you guys to go get your stretching in. Do your stretches. All right, see you tomorrow.